and sisters in the law enforcement and military communities in conversations that we all know we need to have. All opinions you'll hear are our own, are protected by our First Amendment of the United States Constitution, and in no way reflect or are meant to reflect the opinion of any specific agency, officer, or service member. Some opinions may be controversial. Listener discretion is advised. Enjoy.
Wow.
I knew you'd like it.
Went a whole different direction today.
We're just going to kind of leave this on there.
Yeah, okay.
Totally different direction. We're smoking pot. I tried to throw in a little Middle Eastern in here for us.
I like it. I like it.
Let's get serious, dude. Even though the episode's not going to be really serious this week.
Oh, no. It's not.
It's gonna be we're going to have a lot of fun today, guys. Project Sapient. Check us out, projectsapient.org. Shoot us an email. You guys are loving us with these. I'm loving you guys with these emails. ProjectSapient2020@gmail.com. We want to say thanks to our tens of thousands of listeners all over the world. Actually, I'm going to go over that, Ayman, real quick.
Yeah.
Thanks to our sponsors and our supporters, Till Valhalla, AAAPoliceSupply.com, HAVOK Journal, our partners at the Profiles and HAVOK podcast, FitCops.com, 22 Mohawks, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We love you guys. Ayman.
Yes.
Check out the distribution. Ready? Hold on. Statistics. Overview. Boom. Look at this shit.
Oh, wow.
Fucking 22,000 listeners, right? Let's do all time. Ready? Boom.
Wow.
Look at these countries.
Wow, we're all over.
Algeria, we have a listener.
I know, right?
Italy, 52.
Wow.
France, 59. Why can't it be 69? Spain, 2.
80.
Ukraine, we have 1.
Wow.
Russia, we have 3. See, Iran, we don't want the Iranians anyway. Afghanistan, 1. India, 7.
Wow.
The Aussies, 26.
Wow.
Canadians, 339. And, of course, the United States, the greatest country on the planet.
Most listeners there.
Fox, yeah, guys. Thanks for making us the #1 military and law enforcement podcast on the planet. So, my friend, how are you, first of all?
Doing fine. All good.
What's wrong, Ayman? Do you want to talk? All right,
I have finally recovered after my hiatus in Florida, and also my I'm still in shock that I'm back in Massachusetts, because
isn't it bullshit?
It is bullshit. This fucking weather sucks. Go from 90-degree weather to fucking cold again.
I don't understand. I say it to my dad all the time, right? My dad was the first in my family to come here, right? I was first.
My dad was the same
thing.
Yeah.
And I say to him all the time, what in God's name possessed you to stay here? He did the blizzard of 78, right? And then he packed up my family and left. Okay. And then a year later comes back.
Why?
And I'm like, what the hell was wrong with you?
I think blizzard 78 should have been like the epiphany. Like, I'm leaving and we're going somewhere warm.
He was telling me all kinds of stories about how much he loved it here. And I'm like, dude, you never I think he came here when he was 40. I'm like, in your 40 years of life, you never saw snow. Right? Because Greece isn't like, I mean, the high points of like Lebanon where they get snow and stuff. Yeah. We don't get any of that.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right.
Especially where we're from, Southern Greek, real Greeks, Spartans. Anyway.
This is Sparta.
But like, I was like, what the hell's wrong with you? Why would you purposely choose to stay here?
Yes. I don't know. I've asked my dad, same exact question. We fled Africa from civil war. It was, hot, humid, all that good, great weather. Coming to Boston fucking December. And I'm like, and then we've been here ever since.
Are you were like, what?
I was like, why is it cold? Why is it cold? Why? This is not right.
No, do that again.
Crap. So today we're gonna do a little bit of change up. I actually want to go through like the like what we do fucking when we go out. We talk shop anyways, regardless.
Yep.
More of talking about some of our fucked up funny calls that we've been to over our careers.
Not just funny calls, funny circumstances.
Yeah, funny. Yeah,
things that
funny
have happened.
circumstances, things that have happened, things that will make you scratch your head. For the civilian listeners, get ready. For other cops, y'all are gonna understand exactly where we're coming from.
I say it to some of my civilian friends all the time, and I mean they giggle whenever I say it, and I'm like, it's the great policing is the greatest show on earth.
Oh, absolutely. Every time you say you've seen it all, then something else tops it.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, society tells you, oh, you think that was fucked up. Here, hold my beer.
Yeah. Totally, dude. I mean, I remember getting on for the first time and, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed and fucking, deer in headlights being brand new and all that shit. And I'll give you one of my best stories, right? And this isn't going to be a war story type of shit, but it's a funny story. My FTO, really nice guy, God rest his soul. He took his own life about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yep.
Probably one of the best trainers ever.
Yep.
Right? Like, if somebody asks you who your FTO was and you say this guy, Richie, everybody's like, oh, wow, you're a good cop. Just from your FTO. Like, the guy was just that good, right? Yeah. And hopefully I can one day get to his level. But anyway, our very, very, very first call. And I remember thinking to myself, dude, this is a setup for the next fucking 30 years. And here I am 20 years later, like, yeah, I was right. Mm-hmm. We get a call for a domestic. I don't know if I should edit that out, but anyway. So very popular part of the city.
Yeah.
We'll bleep that out later. But we get there, and this was 20 years ago. So things were a little different than they are now.
Okay.
Right? Person that opens the door is probably 6'4" with 6-inch heels. A very quote unquote sexy outfit on.
Wow.
But with a dong down to its knees.
Outstanding. Talk about wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember freezing and going, did you call the police? And I remember looking over at Richie and he's beat red.
Yeah.
Like beat fucking red. And I was like, remember thinking to myself, is this a setup? Like, was he doing this on purpose? And it wasn't. It was a legit call. I don't know how to properly say it now with pronouns and all that bullshit. The guy or the girl or whatever the fuck it was. I mean, it had a dong down to its fucking knees. Him, I don't know, was having an issue with somebody that wouldn't leave. Mm. And so we walk in thinking that it's just going to be like a removal.
Yeah.
And we walk in and the person that this person was calling about was handcuffed.
Ooh.
To the bed.
One of those scenarios, okay.
And it wasn't that they wanted us to make them leave. They had lost their handcuff keys.
Oh, my God. Call the police because you need a set of handcuff keys.
So...
did your FTO do like any good FTO? Hey, rookie.
Oh, he made me go uncuff the person.
Yeah.
And like my hand was shaking the entire time. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we leave and he gets in the car and we're dying fucking laughing. I'm still kind of like my heart rate's up. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Welcome to the greatest show on earth.
I'm like, oh my God. And he said to me, he was like, this is what you're going to expect.
Yep.
For the next fucking 30 years, buddy.
Yeah. And
he goes, always look back on this shit. And here I am 20 years later looking back on this shit. Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
It's a wild ride, man.
Oh, it is a wild ride. I mean, I remember, I was, when I graduated the academy, we all get set up at headquarters to work the call center, dispatch, all that.
Oh, you guys actually did all that?
Yeah. Okay. So it wasn't like civilian dispatchers were all police officers that ran it. And it's usually all the new guys that have to go in there. And then you get the old timers who are about to retire. They'll go back to do dispatching and call taking because, they're all done working the streets. But I remember one night I was working the 4 to 12 shift and I get a phone call. 911. So typical 911. Where is your emergency? Blah, blah, blah. And dude on the phone says, in a very popular part of the big city, he says to me that somebody robbed him. I said, okay, what, like, give me a little more. Was it armed robbery? What happened?
Are you brand new?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going through kind of like a checklist that they give all the brand new guys of making sure we ask the right questions so we get, when we dispatch it out. So the guy says to me, I bought some sugar from some dude. I was like, okay.
You were like,
You bought
sugar, like a pound of sugar?
Yeah, like, okay, so you bought some sugar. Now, in my head, I'm already like, okay, something's not right here. But anyways, so he says, yeah, I bought the sugar, and I went and got money from the ATM, and when I paid him, he took my money and the sugar and ran off. I was like, okay, so...
what's even funnier is that there's a lot of people listening to this that'll be like, what, like really? His sugar?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. That was a legit call. So at the time, I was sort of like getting used to the whole idea of drug rips, what are drug rips, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this was like a classic case of a drug rip. And I'm sitting there like literally like you see me put my head down because, you know, head up, like hand on my forehead, like massaging it, like, God damn. Like, exactly. I was like, okay, so let me get this straight. Some random dude came up to you to sell you some sugar. Yeah. Okay. And when you went to the ATM to get money and gave him the money, he took off with your money and the sugar that you went to buy. Yeah. All right. So what you're telling me is you went to buy cocaine and gave him money and the guy took off, right? What? No, I wasn't buying drugs. I was like, okay, let me just make this absolutely clear. When I send a police officer to you, they're going to find all this out, and most likely you're going to get in trouble. Well, I'm the victim here. I was like, well, again, let me make sure you understand what is about to happen. Then he goes, fuck you then, whatever, fuck you, and hangs up and goes.
Did you send a car?
No.
You should have.
No. Like, that is a waste of a fucking like time for an officer to even go entertain that shit.
The veteran Ayman would have been like, you know, this is like if this was a few days ago, you probably would have called one of your buddies and been like, "Hey, drive by this house." Slow.
Yeah, I probably would. I probably would. Yeah,
just to fuck with the guy.
More seasoned Ayman would actually be like, you know what? Stay right there. I'm on my way. I am going to help you solve this mystery caper of the sugar.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember working all the bars and shit?
Oh, dude, I used to stay outside a bar called the Rose. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah. And there was a thing right across the street.
Yeah, right across the street. So it would be, it was like when I worked the overnight shifts, and we would all. It's awesome. It's amazing to see how many first responders are all at the bars, like waiting for the dump out.
We're there for everybody's safety.
No. Let's make one thing clear. It's for our enjoyment and entertainment because the minute the bars close and everyone's come stumbling out, you see some of the greatest shows ever. It is bunch of cops and bunch of EMS just sitting there waiting for the show to start.
For our civilian friends, it's nothing. It has nothing to do with our entertainment. We are there to perform a public service.
Okay,
go on.
Say that to yourself over and over again. So I see this dude like it was almost a face plant into the pavement because the way he was falling out of the bar, like
he defied the laws of physics.
Yeah. So picture a moving train and you're getting off the train as it's moving at like about 5 miles an hour and you're trying to catch yourself from falling. Oh. Now picture a grown-ass man in a tuxedo with a top hat.
What?
Oh, yeah. It gets better.
What?
With toilet paper on his shoe and the full roll.
Dude, what kind of fucked up parties what kind of fucked up bar was this?
You know the bar.
I know. It was like, what kind of theme was going on?
I have no idea, but dude, everyone was looking like, look at that. And dude, we were dying laughing. And then right at City Hall, you know how they have some of these monuments and whatever, a group of ladies after their night of having fun decided it was a great idea to climb up onto the statue.
Yeah.
One of them fell off.
Yeah. And then wondered why she had like fucking 8 broken bones.
Yeah, she had a huge scar going down her leg, ruined her dress. And EMS guys were so funny and helpful at the same time because you could tell they were like, you are so fucked up. You're an idiot. I'll never forget it. Her high heels were her heels were broken, like smashed.
One of them was in her fucking rib.
Oh, it was like, why did I fall? And I'm like, maybe because you tried to climb 10 feet up this fucking statue that you really shouldn't have been climbing. And it was amazing. So I'm sure you've seen your share of bars, like dump outs.
I did 4 years in the college town area. I did 4 years of midnights there.
Okay.
And it was like, college town. So, Monday, Tuesdays was always slow, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, oh my God. And you had a pick of everything going on. I mean, what happens when there's a bunch of kids that are shit-faced in a huge part of the city? You get the predators that are always coming around.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have all the fucked up shit. You get, you get fixed posts to have to stand outside of these bars sometimes, right?
Yep.
And sometimes I remember I was young, women would come up to me and talk to me and say some pretty interesting things. And you'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah. Okay.
Goes back to, as I'm thinking about this, goes back to my FTO. And he was like, if you want a quick way to never get married or get divorced, be a cop. And I was like, holy shit, he's right.
We call them badge bunnies.
But I mean, just the funniest shit would happen all the time. Of course, there would be some serious shit.
Yeah.
Right. But just the funniest shit. And then I remember when I got on a special ops and just seeing, because I was never in the military, but seeing the dynamic of how the team worked and all that stuff, it was just 10 times even better of a fucking show. You know what I mean? We used to train and we got along so well as a team. We used to train and just have a fucking blast. Obviously, we'd get our things done. But I remember one of the SWAT commanders at the time would look at us and be like, can you guys shut the fuck up? Can you guys stop? Can you be serious for fucking 30 seconds? And we'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
The things that we do, it's even some, again, with SWAT, some of the, training, we did a huge, hostage rescue type scenario over at Gillette Stadium where, the suites were all taken over, all that good stuff. And we're, doing all our thing. And, the SWAT commander's going over, kind of the, what we're going to be doing. Like, hey, we're, obviously hostage rescue, we're banging every room, blah, 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 blah. And right, we said banging and I,
giggity.
So if you want to think it was the full team, so about 40, 50 SWAT operators, right? Yeah. Somebody maybe half a mile down the stick, yells out, I like to bang, and had this Michael Jackson type voice that came out, and we were all rolling, and it's but then, once it came to work, we were dead on serious, okay, boom, and then we hit the doors, but it's people just don't see the comedy or the human side of us that come out all the time.
That's exactly what it is.
Here's a great one. We did this. We had this. I think it was a barricade. It was years ago. I think it was a barricade, and we were clearing the house. One of the SWAT operators had a code brown, really bad. Which
I know where you're going with this.
You know where I'm going with this. He was sweating. And he goes, oh no. And that's all you hear. And we were right next to the bathroom. So he yelled, he says, hey, cover me. Now, we don't know what the fuck's going on. We're like, okay. We thought he needed, we thought we were clearing the bathroom again, or because we already cleared it.
He was going to clear the bathroom again.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Dude, he literally dropped his drawers, kept his kit on, dropped his pants.
Wow.
That's how fast he went. Had the rifle still slung, and just let loose. Now, if you want to picture Dumb and Dumber, when Harry takes a shit because of the laxatives that Lloyd gave him, that was almost the similar sounds that would come. We're like, holy shit.
He's giving birth in there.
We're like, what the? And then he was done within it was the quickest 30 seconds. He pushed everything out at once, cleaned up, done. And we're like, dude, you just did that in the middle of a SWAT op. It was amazing.
There's been so many times, dude. So many times you're in a stack or fucking on the stairs. The stairs would fucking, oh my God. You'd be on a flight of stairs and the guy in front of you would fucking, you'd hear him giggle.
Yeah,
you'd hear him be
and then the smell comes.
Yeah, he'd be like, and you're like, what the fuck? fuck? What? And then you're like, oh, stop it.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
It's fucking hilarious. Thinking of another story. This was another funny one. We had this was when I was working major crimes. We had a drive-by shooting, long-winded investigation. I think I worked 20 hours straight on this because there was so much involved with the drive-by, and we ended up getting the suspect house, and we got a search warrants, whole 9 yards. SWAT team hit the house, and so me being as the investigator, I wasn't part of the stick or anything like that. So it was, I'm investigating this whole thing with my major crimes unit with all our guys, and funny. So when they hit the house at Dark 30. Numerous flashbangs went off. You're hearing, we're down the street, about 300-400 yards back, kind of tactically just hiding behind a house in case any rounds start flying. But we see this little thing running down the street away from the house. Now, it was myself and the detective commander at the time. We're looking at that. We're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
It looked like a little rodent.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, as it was getting closer, it was the suspect's dog. He had a
little chihuahua?
Yeah, he had a little fucking chihuahua thing. It was so freaked out from the fucking all the bangs going off. It just booked it down the street. And we're like, oh, holy shit, that's a dog. And the dog literally, emergency brake.
Yeah.
It skipped on the pavement, which was even funnier, and took a left and just fucking took off. So
I can imagine, and every cop listening to this can imagine it too.
Oh my God, yeah. And what's even funnier is, after we arrested and did what we needed to do, whatever, a Facebook post on the community page went out from the suspect family looking for the
missing dog.
A missing dog, and they had the picture up. So we were again dying laughing.
That poor dog.
Well, the dog ended up all right. For the animal lovers, dog got found. It's all set. Dog is happy.
Somebody just was dialing PETA.
I know,
now.
right? These cops are making fun of a lost dog. Yeah, it's okay, people. Fucking dog was found, but it was just at that time it was just so funny because again, you find when you're up for that long and you got an intense op going, you find comedy in everything.
Yeah.
You're just and my favorite thing is when we went into the suspect's house, it was I don't know, something out of a horror playhouse. Like when you go to the carnival and you walk into one of them, weird mirrored rooms and they got weird statues everywhere.
Yeah.
You walked in, you're like, oh my God, am I in a fun house right now? What the fuck's going on in here? And that's something people don't realize. When we do search warrants on these bad guys or whatever, you get to see what life is like in their mind.
Yeah.
It's actually amazing. Because you're no wonder why you're so fucked up.
And half the time you're like, this motherfucker needs Jesus.
Pretty much. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You're like, what is this?
Is that not, if you can explain policing in 3 words, one statement, would it not be what the fuck?
Pretty much.
9 out of 10 things.
Pretty much.
What the fuck?
So my cousin, you know exactly where I'm going to go with this. Brand new cop, right? He just got on the job.
Yeah.
He just finished FTO, so I congratulated him. And I gave him some pointers of certain things that you cannot say while you're on shift and certain things to look out for before shift.
So did you start with it's quiet tonight?
Exactly. And he told me, he started laughing. He said he actually said that one night and his FTO almost kicked his ass out of the fucking car.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, yeah, you never say that. And I was like, and the other thing is when the full moon's out, be prepared. And he's like, why? I was like, I don't know what it is about the fucking moon, but you get the wildest fucking things. I don't know.
I'm surprised as to how many people don't believe that. It's you look at science and data, right?
Yeah.
You want evidence.
Yeah.
If you look at the full moons,
yes,
and you see the fucking crime rates going up, there's a correlation, right?
No, there is. So I found, I basically, when he was asking me, what do I mean by the moon? I'm going to show you this meme I sent him because I found, this was a while ago. I found it and I saved it, and I said, here's why right here. I said, So this meme, normal people, what a beautiful moon. Law enforcement says,
oh, crap.
Like, here's the thing. It's out there in the interwebs.
It's got to be true.
It's got to be true. So, and then I find this other, basically it's dispatch saying, Central to all units, please be advised that there's a full moon. Crazy status has been upgraded to insanity. Watch your 6, get home safe. Central out.
Yeah.
How true is that?
True.
Here's the thing. We all know, again, we're going to get a little geeky with science. We know that the moon has a lot of effects on the earth.
Of course it does.
To animals, to the oceans.
Tides, everything.
To the tides.
Yeah.
To even seasons, even to human behavior.
Of course it does.
And for those who do not believe that, then I don't know. You know what? Go back to COVID status and stay in your homes.
I'll put it out there. If anybody wants to know the science behind it, shoot us an email. I will personally talk to you. I am the biggest physics geek you'll ever meet.
Or if somebody is a lot smarter than us, please email us and call us.
And tell us
why this happens. Because I would love... Here's the thing. I can go on Google and search it, and I'll find some fucking bullshit artist who wrote a thesis about why the moon affects humans a certain way, and that's the same dude who probably plays Call of Duty for 13 hours a day.
Yeah.
You know, so I'd rather get actual scientists, medical professionals, or whatever to give me the answer.
I will say, I am wearing a NASA shirt. Just saying.
That's true. Actually, he is.
That makes me a professional right now.
Yeah,
scientist.
He is geeked out.
Okay, and I'm gonna say it. Throughout the entire pandemic. All these scientists and experts, again, not one was right.
Here's the thing. Again, we all know science is a fluid. It's evolving. You test your hypothesis, scientific method.
Right.
You know, it's always going to change no matter what. I mean, look, how many times over the years have you heard eggs are good for you, eggs are bad for you, eggs are good for you, eggs are bad for you, eggs are good. Like, it flip-flops.
God, I love eggs.
Yeah, I love eggs myself, so I don't give a fuck. But again, it goes to show that the studies, I mean, even you know, we talk a lot about forced science, right? Even with them, some studies they've done, and I think I've read a couple, where they said, this is the only study of its kind, more tests will need to be done.
Yeah, that's the point of it. That's the trial and error. I was watching something on YouTube or maybe TikTok or something the other day, right? And I don't know where you stand on climate change or anything. And frankly, I don't care. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Mm-hmm. And there was this super hippie, the world's about to end type of, we need to
Please
fucking
let it end.
Yeah, I know, right? Jesus Christ. How many times have you guys listening and you, Ayman, how many times have you been like, I wish there was an asteroid inbound?
Trust me, I pray for one a lot.
Now, a lot of people are going to hear that and be like, these guys are so savage. They want people to die. You get how we fucking mean it. Shut up.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Where was I going with? Oh, they were talking about climate change, right? Yeah. And this lady had the most perfect fucking rebuttal that I have ever heard. I wish I could, if I had it, I'd play it for you.
We'll post it. We'll post it.
And she was like, dude, you got to realize, I used to use this argument too a couple of years ago, and I'll tell you how. You got to realize that, a couple of 100 years ago, the general consensus among scientists was that the earth was flat.
Yeah. Yep.
It took one person out of the millions of people to be like, no, y'all are wrong. And some of these people were ostracized for it. Some of these people were, kicked out of fucking countries for it.
My son read a thing on Galileo.
Yeah.
And he tells me how horrible Galileo was treated as a result of his theories of the round earth. And, I think it was him who also said the earth revolves around the sun, not the sun revolves around the earth. I believe it was him that also said. So my son was funny. He even knows of these things. Like, yes, the earth is round. It's not fucking flat.
Speaking of this shit, how many times have you encountered like the EDPs that are like, you're here from the government. You're watching me.
Speaking of, okay, EDP that believes, this one EDP believes that this specific EDP, put black trash bags all over their home because they believe the government has thermal imaging that is penetrating through their house, and like, it is the most bizarre. I'm not going to give too much because it's still sort of recent case, so I'm not going to really dive into it too much just for, privacy reasons. But to me, like, we all laugh about it because, we get this person transported all the time to the mental hospital. They release him. It's almost turning into this revolving door, kind of like a revolving door of justice, where now it's a revolving door of mental health.
Right.
Where we ship them. Like, hey, we got you. We recognize that you have a severe mental issue. We're going to send you to the hospital to get help. Hospital does the ABCs, as in yep, temperature's normal, you're back stabilized, check the box, back out, bill the insurance, $10,000 or whatever. Let's get the next customer. No longer patients, it's now customers.
Now serving number 64.
Exactly.
In the deli counter.
Exactly. The bullshit that keeps going. And it's like you're like living like that in their mind every single day must be exhausting.
Yeah,
like
dude.
It's got to be exhausting. Like, here's the thing. Like, we laugh. Like, we've had so many funny instances where, again, you scratch your head. You're like, what the fuck? Society
I had
gives
one.
you the, go ahead.
3 weeks ago.
Yep.
It's maybe 3-4 weeks ago. I don't know what fucking month we're in. The caller stated that somebody was in her car.
Yep.
So it came in as like a B&E in progress.
Okay.
I fly over there, fucking this and that. I get out, nothing going on, obviously.
Yeah.
Car door's locked.
Okay.
Right. I asked for the caller to come out. Caller comes out. I talk to her. I'm like, so what's going on? And they go, oh, somebody was in my car. I said, did you see them? Said, oh, no. So what do you mean? She said, somebody smoked in my car. I said, what do you mean smoked in your car?
Yeah.
She's like, it smells like smoke. Okay. I'm like, do you want to check it out? Like, I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She unlocks the fucking car. I'm like, first of all, it was locked.
Yep.
She unlocks the car. I sit inside just to be like, okay, what's this person talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe I'm missing something here. I'm like, the car smells fucking great. It smells like fucking cherries.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
Mm-hmm.
I walk back up. I'm like, ma'am, I don't think there was anybody in your car. You know what I mean? And then she just fucking went off. Bananas. You're part of the fucking problem. You're a fucking spy. You're this, you're that. Like going down the line. Dude.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't like an anti-cop thing. It was like
CIA. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember, dude, in my mind, now mind you, body cameras going and everything. I remember in my mind, I'm like, should I? And what, you know me, I was like, am I going to instigate this or am I going to fucking...
Did you totally troll her? Is that what you wanted to do?
I don't want to get fired.
Yeah.
So I'm like, can I get an ambulance for a fucking mental health check?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the amount of shit that's out there. It's fucking crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of another funny story that occurred. This was again years ago, again, because statute of limitations expired probably by now.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. I had a call. Actually, even better. I wasn't working, but this actually happened. We have a zoo in our medium-sized city, and there was a massive llama breakout.
Yeah. You mentioned this once before.
Yes, and the officers had to corral the llamas together and get them back. And I'm like, that is amazing. I can't, like, seeing the pictures online, like, you know, on the news, I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, of course they did. Like, as a cop, again, our job is crime, disorder, shit like that, but then everything else still falls to us.
Right.
No matter what, no matter how you skin it, how you change it, no matter how much reform you do, society will still dump the garbage on us no matter what.
The most not even garbage, the most asinine shit. Have you ever gotten, and guys listening to this, have you ever gotten a call for fucking food being too cold at a restaurant? I've gotten a call for food being too cold at a restaurant.
I like the South. Certain southern states, that's an arrest.
What do you mean?
False calling 911, like false reporting, or they call it something else. But
hold on, these people obviously have mental issues in their mind. It's real.
Yeah,
like let's call the police. There's a problem.
Yeah,
let's call the police.
Yeah,
like holy shit.
Well, again, that's the whole idea behind the whole thing we've been talking about is society's problems is just dumped on police, no matter what.
I kind of like it.
Well, here's the thing: like in reality, our jobs would be very boring. If we turn into firemen and respond to crimes only.
We'd be in great shape.
I know we would be. Dude, we'd be working out all the time.
Xbox champions, dude. Talk about Call of Duty, bro. We'd be fucking tier 1 operators.
In Call of Duty. In Call of Duty. But you know, it's like, so that's the thing. Like, that's why I think we wanted this episode to be a little more lighthearted, because just to show, again, the human side of, I mean, we do it a lot, the human side of law enforcement through serious discussions. And, you know, now more of the funnier stuff where, you know, I'll never forget, like, there are times where, here's a good one. So we had this at my job at Major Crimes. We ended up Backpage, right? Backpage was all the rage a couple of years ago. Yeah. It's no longer the case now, or a few years ago.
The one that took over Craigslist.
Pretty much, yeah. So
Giggity.
There was a lot. There was a lot of obviously human trafficking, prostitution, all kinds of stuff that got funneled through Backpage.
Yeah.
So had this investigation. Someone in town in our medium-sized city was soliciting, basically. So we had one of our undercovers reach out. We got numerous complaints, so we did an undercover sting type of thing. Undercover officer played the role of a biker. It was actually really well done. So have you seen The Wire?
I have not. I know. You keep telling me to. Yeah.
Dude.
I know.
You suck.
I know.
So you're not going to understand this reference. But
I hear that a lot lately.
So in The Wire, there's a scene where McNulty goes into an Asian massage parlor that is actually a prostitution ring or whatever.
No.
He's wearing a wire, but the wire failed on him, and he's trying to do the signal for them to go in. When it was so quiet, the commander finally said, all right, we're go in, and you see McNulty laying there, you're basically getting a ham job. And he's like, what? I kept saying the code. You guys came in late, whatever. So anyways, I
can never confirm or deny that that's ever happened. But anyway, go on.
So, we put the wire on the undercover, and we're like, and right away, we were all thinking of The Wire. We're like, well, I hope this thing doesn't fail on you, because, we were talking about why we were laughing.
He's like, I kind of do.
Well, and he was like, oh, my wife won't be happy, but so it all went fine, like the wire and everything. And we ended up going in, he said the signal, we went in, took care of business, the whole 9 yards, arrested the suspect, took the suspect away. We had a search warrant for the house.
Was he smoking a cigarette when you guys went in there?
Yeah, right. So we start searching evidence, fruits of the crime, stuff like that, for other potential Johns and maybe other people that she or he may have been involved in.
I could have gone somewhere with that, but
hold on. So we start bagging evidence, certain things for evidence. So it was one of the grossest and funniest at the same time, because you're talking about a sex den in the basement of this house. Exactly. All right. So we're all gloved up, but I'll never forget the stickiness you feel. Oh. Like when you're like, you're like, what the fuck, and she or he had all sorts of lubes everywhere. At least they had Yankee Candle scented. So it was very nice scented
tropical scent
room. So we start searching bags, and this person had like hundreds of different backpacks and purses and whatever. So I reach my hand into this big backpack, and I feel a rubber cylinder type object. I'm like, and I get my hand out, and I'm like, guys, I think I found something. And, it wasn't like
jackhammer.
It wasn't even like a crime or anything. No. I turned the bag upside down and dumped it out. It must have been like a 4 foot long dildo, purple dildo.
That's what I mean by the jackhammer.
Yeah. So now so we bagged it as evidence purposely. Now, let me tell you why.
I know why. Tell them.
Oh, no. So it was a Friday afternoon. The evidence officer wasn't in. So we wanted Monday morning for the evidence officer to come in, and because he needs to log in all the evidence that was put in temp evidence over the weekend. And I'll tell you right now, there was absolutely no reason for us to really take that in as evidence, even though we could have, we took a picture and all that, but even
no reason to go where you went with.
Yeah, no reason other than to fuck with our fellow evidence officer. So I wasn't working, like, at the time I was the 4 to 12 detective, so I wasn't working during the day, but this is what I heard. So he comes in Monday morning. He's checking the temp evidences, checking them in, whatever, gets to the evidence that we seized. I guess all you heard out of the evidence room is, "Oh, what the fuck?"
Yes.
Exactly. That was the response. And there was absolutely no... Before we get into the constitutional lawyers here, yes, we had every right to actually take it because it's part of the crimes and fruits of the crime and all that good stuff. And it shows the whatever.
Everybody calm down.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody calm down. But the reality of it is this. We didn't really need to take it. But we took it just to fuck with our fellow officers, which we do that a lot though to each other. Especially, here's the thing, in policing, it's and even in the military, if we fuck with you, we actually like you.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think that happens in corporate America at all, unless you're working with veterans, combat veterans.
I say it all the time. I mean, like if people actually saw what went on in some of the places that I've worked. Like a walking HR nightmare.
Oh yeah, no, like I've had like the civilian individual people that work for the PD, whether they do like records clerk or whatever, the chief secretary and whatever else that we have over there. They tell me all the time, "Oh, I could never work in like a normal office."
Oh yeah, because they end up loving it. They love the environment and fucking some of them like they're drawn to it.
Well, not just that, they would not be able to joke with us, like they would if they were in some civilian job, because again, like you said, it's an HR nightmare.
It's one of the reasons I have a business on the side and I deal with administration all the time, and I just know, I know how to talk to these people, and I never tell them that I'm a cop, obviously, because it's conflict of interest. But they, after a relationship of like a year, they're like, "You're a cop, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And how do you know? And they're like, "Because just the way you talk." You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a culture. It's an environment. You can't, like, once you're in it, it's almost impossible. Like, imagine yourself going and working for fucking corporate America right now. Yeah. You'd lose your fucking mind.
Oh, dude, I've known people who went corporate America who were in the military. And I know some right now who are currently, dude, they lose their minds. They're like, they can't handle some of the, not that they can't handle it. It's just the corporate America culture is very touchy-feely. I mean, now that it's over, I used to work another full-time job in the banking industry, right? I would do my police job and then do that job after, right? There's 24 hours in the day. You only need like 2 hours to sleep, whatever. So, but that was one of the biggest problems. I had to bounce around to a couple of different places until I found one of the cultures that was kind of like, young kids and everybody having a good time and didn't give a shit about, if you watch a funny video or something that somebody sends you and you laugh a little too loud, they put in an HR complaint. What? How can you work in an environment like that?
Lose your fucking mind.
You would, because again, though, like, to us as cops, like, comedy is obviously the release, because when we're dealing with tense situations, we're dealing with tense situations, whatever it might be, we will laugh and joke. I mean, I remember once going to this was when I was on patrol, going to a suicide. And, as patrol, you get there first, you request a detective unit once you secure the scene. And at the time, I was looking for the individual who killed himself. Yeah. And the husband said, "Oh, she's downstairs in the basement." I said, "Oh, okay." So I make my way to the basement, and I ended the person who committed suicide ended up hanging herself. Like, she tied the around her neck, but to a pole, and just leaned forward.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times.
So that was my first time seeing that. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like,
it was weird.
It was weird because if you think that it was sort of like a hoarder's house, so you couldn't really. It wasn't like an open basement like any normal house that you'd go, into their basement. It's more organized and everything's packed nice. No, this was like shit everywhere and stacked high. So I'm like, okay, I'm kind of trying to sift through shit, and I come around the corner and I see her. I'm like, "Oh shit, Jesus!" And so it was us, like, detectives came and they're doing their thing, whatever. And I remember one of the detectives cracking jokes and stuff like that, and the husband obviously got a little upset about that.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, obviously we were sorry you had to hear that. We, this is how we kind of deal with these types of things. Cause
there's at the end of the day, there's no excuse.
Yeah, no, there's no excuse. But again, it goes back to like, sometimes though, that's just our dark sense of humor.
Right.
Like we have a fucking diabolical dark sense of humor. And if you are to go through my phone right now and see some of the chats I have with my guy, like some of my cop friends and military friends, people would be horrified. They'd be like, dude, you need to be in a mental institution or something.
Yeah.
You know, because again, we have such a dark humor is because we deal with dark things, so to speak.
It's a release, man. Like you said earlier, it's a release. And a lot of people don't get it. We try and, like when you're talking about that scene, right? And you had to apologize. That was one of the ones that went wrong. And you're like, oh, fuck. Mm-hmm. You know, and whoever did do the wrong there was probably never going to do it again.
No, but that person did apologize. So that detective was good. You know, it was all set.
But what I'm saying is people need this shit. Yeah. If you hold this shit inside and you don't find the humor in things, like how many times, dude, have you fucking died laughing back at the station about something?
Oh my God.
We're on scene. You were like Mr. fucking knife hand. And you know what I mean? Like
that was, my partner actually, he always talks about my ex-partner, he retired. He always talks about that one night at a motel where I just fucking went total NCO knife hand mode on like a group of 10 guys. Yeah. And they were all basically on their knees begging not to go to jail because I just fucking.
I want to clarify this story, buddy. Motel, guys on their knees. Go on.
Oh, it gets better. Hold on. No, so we go there and it's a motel that always crime fucking that you pay by the hour, which tells you a lot.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You pay by the hour and we go over there and it's part of our at the time I was on the plainclothes unit, so it's part of our street crimes initiative type things. We'll go over there and we'll do a walk through the motel and we hear like loud noises and people banging on door, the specific room banging on doors or whatever. We're like, here we go. So knock on the door. There was a bunch of dudes. They're waiting on some girls to come down. They were going to party in this motel room. Now, here's one of my questions. Why would you go to a motel to party when you have 100 other places you could go to?
What do you mean?
Like,
were they expecting like people to come?
Oh, yeah. No, there was like a whole party planned at a motel. Yeah. You're like, dude, this is a motel. Not like a hotel where...
Cheapo motherfuckers, dude.
Well, yes, and it boggles my mind, though, because this motel is not really anything fancy. It's fucking gross. Like, you jump on the bed, most likely you're going to get stuck by 3 needles. Oh, no, it's bad, dude. It's a fucking bad
$69.99 a night.
Yeah, exactly. and so... so I'm sitting there. I'm like, hey, fucking disturbance. You guys need to cut the shit, all that stuff. And I was going to leave it at that. But they had to have a little fucking back and forth attitude. Oh. Exactly. And at that point, that's when I lost it. I was like, you know what? I don't give a fuck anymore. Every fucking one of you, pull your IDs out. I'm going to fucking lock every fucking one of you up, blah, 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 blah. And dude, they were like, oh. Like, and my partner's funny. My partner's got this kind of southern sort of twang to him or whatever. When he gets all excited, he's like, "Oh, you done fucked up now. You pissed off my partner. Y'all going to jail now. Holy shit!" And so he's also amping it up too. Yeah. So they're all pulling their IDs. Fucking IDs are flying everywhere. Here. So I run them all for fucking wants and warrants, right? Yeah. Because you know what? Fuck it. And they were all clear, and I'm like, here you go. Fucking you guys are done tonight. And dude, they all left. They even did not care about their security deposit. Yeah. Nothing.
It wasn't worth it.
Packed up and left.
Yeah.
So now after shift, we're back at the station. We're laughing about it. Yeah. We're like, dude, what the fuck? How the fuck am I? We're laughing. We're like, dude, whatever. Fucking, they fuck with me and that's it. Yeah. And, fucking, I just lost my temper. Well, not lost my temper to a point where I'm punching them, but, got me mad enough where the NCO and me came out and the knife hand started really shooting out. And, but again, it goes back to like training command presence and shit like that. But so we're laughing about it. Then we hear a call to go back to the motel. Patrol's going back over there. We're like, what the fuck? Don't tell me those guys came back, whatever. So we know a couple of the officers that went there, and we make a call to our commander, and we're like, hey, can we go down there? Because you know, we were there already. And he's like, no, you guys are done for the fucking night. Don't even fucking go down there. Just let patrol handle it. So my partner sends a text to one of the guys. He's like, hey, tell me what you guys have, just out of curiosity, if it's the same fucking crew that we just kicked out.
Yeah.
No, it was the girls showed up now. The girls were now having the party. And
so wait, were you off duty?
We couldn't go back.
Oh.
Yeah, no, we didn't. Trust me, I was already like halfway home anyways. So because my partner calls me, he's like, hey, guess what? It wasn't those fucking, it was the girls. It was the girls there. And he's like, hey, and Jeff said, man, you should see this. And I'm like, oh, come on. I was like, of course. You know, so the girls ended up staying there and having the party, but they ended up leaving too because they caused a disturbance. So it was that like another classic, like funny scenario situation where it's like, you only see it on this job.
Yeah. Where else are you going to see this shit, dude?
Yeah. Like,
where else are you going to see this shit? Where else are you going to, it's entertainment.
Oh, it is. And here's the thing, like, one thing that's true about policing, it's like what, 90% boredom, 10% action, right?
Right. And then 1% pure panic.
Yeah, pure panic. Yeah. So So it's like one of those things where the 90% boredom is all these little intricate things that we deal with.
Right.
Where it's just fucking funny. And you scratch your head and you're like, what?
You know what I found going back to patrol?
What's that?
And it was a weird dynamic for me because I was a decade on the fucking team, right? Mm-hmm. And going back and trying to shift out of the operator mindset and being, officer friendly.
Yeah.
Fucking McGruff the crime dog.
Yeah. Dude, you know these young cops don't know McGruff the crime dog.
Google that shit, motherfucker.
Dude, you went way back, bro.
Officer friendly too.
Holy
yeah.
Shit.
Wow, I feel fucking old. God damn it. But what I'm trying to say is I found that using, and maybe it's just because it's my nature, right? I found that using humor at a call, with the people that you're interacting with has helped a lot.
Oh, no, it does. 100%.
And I never used to do that. I don't know if it's like a new thing or if I shouldn't be doing it anymore. Again, I mean, this is the point of the show, right? We talk about this shit. But I found that it's really effective in de-escalating shit, in helping people out, making people feel more comfortable with you. I do it a lot because I've been doing it. Like, again, my FTO named TJ. We'll just use his everyone knows TJ who from my previous job. One thing he told me that always stuck with me is be yourself. Yes.
Be real, be yourself.
Yep.
Everything will work itself out. If you're going to go in, Mr. fucking tough guy, pretend to be something you're not, you're going to get fucking punked quick.
It's an interesting balance, right?
Yeah.
You got to be yourself. You have to have that command presence. If you don't have the command presence, you're going to seem like you're being a cocky prick.
Here's the thing.
People are going to call you out on it.
To me, command presence is a natural thing if you already have it.
Yep.
Right? I could walk into a room and people were like, for example, I remember going from City Hall to the PD walking, because we're right next to each other. And some random guy's like, oh, you must be a cop. I'm like, oh, yeah, I am. I'm with the PD. He's like, man, you look it because you look like you're on a mission. I'm like, so that to me, that's command presence. Like that
natural.
It's a natural thing for me.
Right.
Where, you walk into a situation like, again, primal instincts, apex predators, humans pick up the energy of the other human. So if you're a cop who has that intense, I've been called intense before, by the way. It's like, oh, okay.
No. You?
I'm shocked. But
Mahatma Gandhi?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So when I walk into, like, I've seen it over and over. When I walk into a room, right away you get the, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this dude is not here to
fuck around.
Yeah, I will joke with people. I even joke with suspects. Like, I don't care. Like, gang kids, whatever. Like, I'll do whatever. I remember I had a Crips kid. Like, when I got issued my Dodge Charger, I had a Crips dude. He saw me driving. Like, I had the windows rolled down. He's like, yo, officer, Kafel. I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? He's like, I see you upgraded. I'm like, I know. Hey, you want to hit some wheels on this thing? Let's do it.
Right.
And he was laughing.
But you can tell, you can tell that I can think of 2 or 3 people, and we know thousands of cops, right? But I know of 2 or 3 people where it's like, you can tell it's absolutely rehearsed.
Yeah.
Like it's 100% reversed.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, dude, stop looking at yourself in the mirror
Yeah.
and pretending to this and that.
Yeah.
And then you can always tell who the people that do it naturally.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You carry yourself a certain way.
Exactly. And that's the thing where command presence, officer safety, all that, this is actually towards the end. We'll do a quick little learning point for all new officers.
Yes.
Don't be something you're not. Be yourself, right?
100%.
That's all. This job is 90% of it is acting.
Yeah.
That's
you have to be
all
a
it
chameleon.
is. You have to be a chameleon. You have to adapt, overcome, and you have to gauge yourself. And quick example, this happened. This was a situation with an EDP. The EDP refused to believe that we were all actual police officers. We're all impersonators who have plastic faces on, and we are sent by some entity, who knows, and the EDP demanded DNA tests from all of us. Now, the EDP was going on the ambulance, so I played into that paranoia.
Yeah.
I said, okay, we're all going to go get DNA tested just so you believe that we're all human.
Human. Yeah.
And that actually worked. That's a de-escalation tool there. By just, like, you can't go back and forth with an EDP. Nope, you're going to go into that fucking ambulance, blah, blah, like, no, it's not going to work.
It's like trying to argue with a drunk. Exactly. It's not going to happen.
It's like arguing with my kid.
But see, a lot of people, but a lot of people are going to see that. And you were serious at the time. You were using techniques. You were using all that stuff. It's not going to stop you from going back and fucking laughing about it with your buddy. And like, can you believe I just fucking said that?
We were laughing in the car when we were leaving.
I will tell you something that just came to mind. One of the strangest fucking things I've ever had with an EDP.
Yep.
Years and years ago, dude. And I'll never forget this one. We're same situation, like fucking tinfoil on. Windows boarded shut. Like, holy shit, right? Yep. Peeing in bottles and leaving it there because the DNA would get picked out of the sewer and fucking crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then I noticed there's shit all over the fucking walls of, psychedelic stuff and spiritual stuff, which I'm not dogging at all. I'm very spiritual. And I believe in like a lot of the paranormal shit. And this fucking lady turns around. I must have been there 30, 40 seconds, dude. And this lady turns around and goes, "Hi, Peter." And I was like, what?
Yeah.
How the fuck does she know my name?
Yeah.
And it like, dude, I got goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I remember the dude that was with me was like, "You know her?" Yeah. I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
All right, we're just going to leave this one alone.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. We're going to back away now.
Can you leave my soul where it's at, please?
Yeah, exactly. I remember going, actually this last one, real quick. It was I've never dealt with this. It was, so I go over there because it was some juvenile issue going on, whatever. And I noticed, I started noticing some things on the wall. As you're talking to people, you start looking around just to kind of, let's see this environment, scanning the area, seeing what's what. And I'm looking around, I'm like, there's some interesting stuff going on here. So I'm continuing talking and getting to know the family. And at the time I was in major crime. So I had some time and, to kill and sitting there talking to mom, getting to know the mom and all that. And I learned that she's a witch.
Oh, legit.
Oh. And she showed me her.
Fucking around with that.
Yeah. She showed me her box of potions or whatever you want to call it. It's like different herbs and knickknacks.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be as nice as possible.
Yep.
I don't want to walk out with some
hex
or something. I did check my pockets to make sure that nothing was left in my pockets to curse me for the rest of my life.
Pull out like fucking chicken bones and shit.
Exactly. So again, the comedy of it, right?
Right.
Some of the shit we see and deal with, you just laugh, and you have to laugh. And I respect everyone's freedoms to be who they are and whatever. But again, though, this job gives you, again, I think like it can be living in a free society and being a cop in a free society poses a lot of its challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And also those same challenges come with a lot of comedy. Because again, you scratch your head, you're like, I thought I seen it all, but then society turns around and says, "Hold my beer, I got another thing for you to look at."
Right.
Yeah. So it's just funny stuff.
Another thing that just came to mind is, when somebody fucks up that you're friends with, I fuck with somebody that I've known for 20 years, and I still, every time I see them, you know, we don't work together now, but every time I see them, I fucking don't let it down. What they did 20 years ago. And it's still funny.
What. Yeah. No matter what. We're like, oh, fuck you, man. 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's true. That's true.
Dude, you know, it's good to have episodes like this, Simon, where we're not talking doom and gloom and fucking asteroids. And
but trust me, if the asteroid's coming, please let it come.
Good stories. It just, you know, let's keep this shit up, man.
Yep.
And thanks to everybody for making us the #1 military and law enforcement podcast on the planet. Check us out at projectsapience.org. Shoot us an email. Thanks to our thousands of listeners worldwide, our awesome supporters, and Till Valhalla Projects, AAAPoliceSupply.com, HAVOK Journal, our partners at the Profiles and HAVOK Podcast, FitCops.com, 22 Mohawks. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We love you. Stay safe.
Stay sapient.